Have you ever wondered how much of what you stress over actually matters in the grand scheme of life? In a universe so vast and ancient that our entire existence barely registers as a blink, why do we let trivial setbacks and daily frustrations weigh us down? In this video, we'll take a step back and explore what it truly means to be alive at this moment in cosmic history. By the end, you'll see just how remarkable your life really is, and how understanding the bigger picture can transform the way you handle everything. From a ruined pair of shoes to the biggest questions about why we're here at all. Along the way, we'll delve into the nature of time, our place in the galaxy, and the precious gift of consciousness itself. Stick around to learn how shifting your perspective can not only free you from everyday anxieties, but also fill your life with meaning, purpose, and awe. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's begin. That small, seemingly insignificant moment made me pause and reflect. How often do we allow trivial things to cast such long shadows over the greater tapestry of life? Here we are, existing on this tiny, fragile blue planet, suspended in the infinite expanse of an unfathomable universe. It's breathtaking when you stop to think about it. Yet, so often, we get bogged down by the smallest of issues, stressed over a pair of shoes that need cleaning, or a bad day that feels like the end of the world. But when we step back, when we dare to see the world with a wider lens, we realize just how little these worries matter in the grand scheme of things. Shoes can be cleaned. Bad days, like storms, will eventually pass. But the bigger picture, the life we've been given, the universe that stretches out before us, is far more precious, far more awe-inspiring than any of the small frustrations that often steal our peace. And so, today, I want to invite you on a journey with me, a journey of discovery. Together, we'll step away from the noise of daily life and take a broader, more reflective view of the world. We'll explore these questions together, questions that stir our hearts and challenge our perspective. I believe that by the end of this, you'll see things in a new light, perhaps with a little more wonder, a little more gratitude, and a lot more clarity. Let's take a collective breath and consider the origin of life itself. Let's think about how we, as human beings, came to be. This beautiful, extraordinary Earth has existed for around 4.5 billion years, a period so vast, so nearly incomprehensible that it sends a chill down my spine just thinking about it. For most of that time, we didn't even exist. And yet, somehow, here we are. Whether by some incredible twist of fate, a series of miraculous events, or perhaps just the randomness of the universe, human beings emerged from the dust, becoming self-aware and conscious of ourselves and the world around us. And what a world it is! As I stand in awe of this planet we call home, I can't help but marvel at how perfectly it seems designed for life. The Earth is not too hot like Venus, nor too cold like the icy emptiness of space. It is just right, a rare, delicate balance of conditions that make life not only possible but thrive in every corner of this world. From the lush forests to the vast oceans, from the highest mountains to the deepest valleys, there's something almost magical about the way this planet sustains life. And yet, amidst all of this beauty, we often allow the smallest irritations, those fleeting moments of frustration or disappointment, to cloud our perception of what truly matters. In my heart, I believe it's time we stop letting the small stuff rule our emotions. Life is far too magnificent, too full of wonder, for us to waste even a second on things that don't matter in the long run. When you step back and look at the universe, when you embrace the fact that we are part of something so much greater than ourselves, it puts everything else into perspective. And that, my friends, is what I hope we can discover together today. Have you ever truly paused, even for just a moment, to appreciate how utterly extraordinary it is that we are here, alive, right now? When you think about it, it's nothing short of a miracle. Out of all the countless planets in our solar system, planets we've observed, studied, and speculated about, Earth is the only place we know of that nurtures life in such a vibrant, complex, and beautiful way. It's a miracle so fragile that we often overlook it, distracted by the trivialities of daily life. We fret over muddy shoes, unpaid bills, missed deadlines, or a gray sky that dampens our spirits. But how many of us truly stop and marvel at the fact that we even exist on this breathtaking planet, orbiting a star in a vast, infinite universe? Our time here is fleeting. It's so incredibly short in the grand scheme of things. Earth, with its rich history, has been spinning for billions of years, 4.5 billion to be exact. But our individual lives, they're but a blink in the cosmic eye. Imagine for a moment if the entire history of Earth were compressed into a single 24-hour day. The Earth's 4.5 billion year timeline would stretch from midnight to midnight, and humanity wouldn't even appear until the final seconds, just before the clock strikes 12. We are, in every sense, a fleeting speck in the boundless period. And yet, we live our lives with such urgency and self-importance. We get so caught up in the minutiae, our job titles, how many likes we get on social media, what others think of us, and whether we've done enough to prove ourselves. In the grand timeline of existence, all of that seems so insignificant. So, why do we let these concerns dominate us? In the infinite expanse of time and space, do any of these things matter? And then there's the night sky. Have you ever looked up at the stars and felt something stir deep inside you? That feeling of wonder, of being part of something so grand, so timeless? Here's a thought that often overwhelms me. The light from those distant stars, those tiny pinpricks of light we see in the night sky, has traveled for millions of years. Millions. That light, which may have originated long before humanity even existed, may have already gone out. Those stars may no longer be there. But their light, it endures. It reaches us here in this moment. It connects us to a vast, unfathomable universe that is so much larger than we could ever comprehend. We, as tiny as we are part of that same universe. We're connected to something so immeasurably greater than ourselves, and yet we often live as if we are the center of everything. We're not. We're just one brief, beautiful blip in the cosmos. Life can feel overwhelming, can't it? The weight of responsibilities, the pressure to succeed, the worries that keep us up at night. But perhaps, if we just take a step back and remember how truly miraculous our existence is, we might find a little peace in the knowledge that we are part of something far bigger than our daily troubles. That, in itself, is a comfort. We are part of a story so much older and more beautiful than we can fully grasp. And that, to me, is something worth contemplating, worth appreciating every single day. Let's take a moment to reflect on the concept of time. Time, something so deeply ingrained in our daily lives, is often viewed as a constant. Something we can measure, control, and predict with precision. We compartmentalize our days into hours, minutes, and seconds, creating rigid schedules and routines to keep us on track. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, where did these measurements come from? Why is a day 24 hours long, a month roughly 30 days, and a year 365 days? These seemingly arbitrary numbers are tied to the natural rhythms of our planet, but do we truly understand what they mean? Take the day, for example. It's nothing more than the amount of time it takes for our Earth to complete one full rotation on its axis. A month. It's based on the Moon's journey around the Earth, a celestial waltz that has influenced our concept of time for millennia. And a year. Well, that's simply the time it takes for Earth to make one full orbit around the sun. Time, in its most fundamental sense, is not something that was created by us, but something we've merely observed and then constructed into a system of measurements to fit our lives. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When we truly pause and think about it, we begin to see that time, as we know it, is entirely a human invention. It's a tool we've crafted to impose order on the chaos of life, to help us understand the flow of events and their relationships. But time itself, as an objective force, doesn't exist in the way we often imagine it. It's not a linear stream stretching endlessly from past to future. Rather, it's a framework we've built, a means to make sense of the world around us. Without this structure, the world would feel like a whirlwind of unconnected moments. The more we reflect, the more we realize how insignificant our daily concerns can feel in the grand scheme of things. Take a step back, and suddenly, our human lives seem like fleeting moments in the vastness of time. The universe is an astounding 13.8 billion years old. That number is almost too enormous to comprehend, a figure that dwarfs our entire existence. But let's bring it down to a scale we can understand. Imagine compressing the entire history of the universe into a single year. The Big Bang occurs on January 1st, the birth of the Earth is on September 1st, and the first humans appear only in the final seconds of December 31st. Now, doesn't that perspective make everything feel more intimate? More urgent? When we think about time this way, we can't help but feel the weight of our history. Human civilization, everything from the construction of the Great Pyramids to the advent of the Internet, happens in the final seconds of that year. Can you grasp the magnitude of that? Our entire existence, our struggles, our triumphs, and our innovations are mere blips in the context of the universe's timeline. And yet, within those fleeting moments, we shape our lives, make decisions, and create memories. In this sense, time is both precious and infinite. It's something we cannot control, yet we are bound by it. It shapes us, molds us, and sometimes even defines us. And in those fleeting moments, we are allowed to leave our mark, however small, on the vast canvas of time. Isn't that an extraordinary thought? Despite how tiny we are in the face of the universe's grandeur, we still have the power to shape our own stories, create meaning, and live lives that matter, even if just for a moment. The truth is, we're all racing against time, constantly, relentlessly, and often without even realizing it. Time is a force that governs every aspect of our lives, slipping away with each passing second, in ways both big and small. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of our daily routines, but when we step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that time is not just fleeting in our own lives, it's disappearing on a universal scale. Just think about our sun, that massive glowing ball of fire that we rely on to sustain life on Earth. It's burning through its fuel at an astonishing rate, far faster than we can truly comprehend. In about 5 billion years, it will run out of fuel and expand into a red giant. Its fiery surface will swell to an unimaginable size, so vast that it will eventually swallow up the Earth, engulfing everything in its path. The very place we call home will no longer exist, reduced to ash and dust, a distant memory in the long timeline of the universe. Of course, none of us will be around to witness this colossal event, but the thought that everything we know could be gone in the blink of a cosmic eye is a sobering one. It's a reminder, in the deepest sense, of how fragile and temporary everything is. Nothing, no matter how grand or stable it may seem, lasts forever. And it's not just our sun that is in a race against time. Even the universe itself is evolving, shifting in ways that we can barely fathom. Did you know that the entire universe is expanding? At first, this might seem like a simple, almost academic fact, but when you dig deeper, it becomes an awe-inspiring and, at the same time, unsettling realization. The very fabric of the cosmos is stretching, the distances between galaxies growing wider and wider with every passing moment. This expansion, as incredible as it is, isn't just slowing down, it's speeding up. The force behind this accelerating expansion is a mysterious phenomenon that scientists have dubbed dark energy. They don't fully understand it yet, but they can observe its effects, and those effects are profound. As the universe continues to expand at an ever-increasing rate, galaxies will eventually be so far apart from one another that their light will never reach each other again. Imagine that entire galaxies, once close enough to interact, now drifting so far apart that they'll never touch again. Over time, the universe will grow colder and darker, stars will burn out, and no new stars will be born to replace them. The cosmos, once full of brilliant lights and vibrant forces, will descend into a quiet, frozen abyss. There will be no more new life, no more birth of stars, no more cosmic events to stir the void. It's a lonely and desolate thought. The universe, in its infinite scale, will one day be a place of unimaginable silence, with nothing but the fading remnants of what once was. But here's where it gets interesting, and deeply meaningful, too. It's easy to get lost in the grand scale of this cosmic timeline, and feel a sense of futility as if nothing we do matters in the face of such vast, impersonal forces. However, there's a unique kind of beauty in the truth that time is limited. The knowledge that our time here is finite, that everything, every moment, every relationship, every experience, is temporary, gives those moments a preciousness that would be impossible to grasp if time were infinite. Think about it. What would our lives be like if we had all the time in the world? Would we still appreciate the little things? The warm rays of sunlight that dance on our skin as we sit outside on a quiet afternoon? Would we still savor the laughter of our friends and family, the way their voices fill our hearts with joy? Would we take the time to marvel at the beauty of the world around us, from the simplest flower blooming by the side of the road to the complexity of a child's imagination unfolding before our eyes? The fleeting nature of time, both our moments and the grand cosmic passage of time, makes these things all the more valuable. It's a paradox, isn't it? The more we understand about how temporary everything is, the more we learn to cherish it. Our awareness of time's inevitable march towards the end gives us the urgency and the clarity to live fully, to embrace every fleeting second with all the joy and gratitude we can muster. Without time's limitations, we would never truly experience the depth of living. If we lived forever, would we take the time to love deeply, to reach out to those we care about, to hold on to the memories that shape us? Would we find joy in the simplest of things, or would we take them for granted, assuming we have endless time to enjoy them? The reality is that our time is short, and in that precious brevity lies the power to make our lives meaningful. It's up to us to make every moment count. In the grand scheme of the universe, we are but a tiny blip, a fleeting moment of existence. But in that moment, we have the power to create, to love, to experience, and to leave a mark on the world. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes life worth living. Let's take a moment, just a brief one, to pause and reflect on something truly remarkable, something that, when you stop and truly think about it, seems almost too extraordinary to grasp. Consciousness. The mere fact that you're here, reading these words, and contemplating your place in the boundless, infinite universe is a miracle in itself. The very act of thinking about your existence, wondering about who you are, why you're here, and what it all means, is something we, as humans, can experience in a way no other species on Earth seems capable of. Just think about it. You, sitting here right now, asking these profound questions, are part of something so incredibly rare and beautiful that it almost feels surreal. This awareness of yourself, this ability to reflect on the universe and your place within it, is nothing short of remarkable. But then, the next logical question arises. What exactly is consciousness? Why do we, as humans, possess it, and what is its true significance in the grand scheme of things? These are questions that have baffled great thinkers, scientists, and philosophers for centuries, yet we still don't have clear, definitive answers. We experience consciousness, of course, every moment we are awake, yet it remains an elusive concept. It's this profound awareness that separates us from every other living creature. We're the only ones, as far as we can tell, who can look up at the stars and wonder about them, who can gaze into the night sky and feel both incredibly small and astonishingly significant all at once. We ask the questions that others, even the most intelligent animals, don't seem to ask. Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? Yes, animals possess intelligence in their unique ways. Birds, for instance, engage in complex migration patterns, navigating across thousands of miles with almost magical precision. Dolphins communicate with each other, displaying sophisticated social structures and even a form of emotional intelligence that we are still striving to understand. Ants, tiny though they are, work together to build intricate colonies and manage complex tasks. But despite their remarkable abilities, Animals do not sit back and ponder the nature of their existence. They don't look at the moon and question its origins, or marvel at the vastness of the stars and wonder what lies beyond them. They don't write poetry, compose symphonies, or create art as expressions of their existential reflections. Humans do all of this, and more, because of something we can only call consciousness. This awareness is what gives us the ability to ask questions about our lives, to think critically about our place in the world, and to strive for meaning in everything we do. It's why we seek connection, why we long for understanding, and why we endlessly search for answers to questions that may never have clear resolutions. Consciousness is what makes us uniquely human. It allows us to step outside of ourselves and examine the world around us, connect with others, explore ideas, dream, create, and build legacies that will carry on long after we are gone. But here's the paradox. The more we learn, the more we understand, the smaller we feel in the grand scheme of things. The smarter we get, the more we come to realize just how vast, just how overwhelmingly indifferent the universe can be. It's as though the deeper we delve into the mysteries of life and existence, the more we realize how little we truly know, how insignificant we are in comparison to the infinity of space and time. Think about it. We are one tiny, fragile species, living on one small planet, orbiting a single star in a single galaxy. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is a vast, sprawling collection of billions of stars and planets. But even this magnificent galaxy is just one of over 200 billion galaxies that we know exist in the observable universe. These numbers, these facts, are staggering. They're so immense, so incomprehensible, that it's almost impossible to truly grasp their scale. It's humbling, to say the least. And yet, in the face of this incomprehensible vastness, what truly astounds me is that we humans have managed to do something that seems impossible. We found no evidence, at least not yet, of anyone else. We've peered into the cosmos with our most advanced telescopes and sent out probes into the depths of space, and still we stand alone in our awareness, in our quest for meaning, in our search for life beyond our own. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? On one hand, it's liberating, knowing that we are the only ones who seem to ask these big existential questions. On the other hand, it's isolating. Are we truly alone in this vast universe? Is there no one else out there who shares our longing, our curiosity, our desire to understand what it all means? When I think about this, it fills me with both awe and a sense of existential wonder. I feel so incredibly small, an individual, a single consciousness, lost in the vastness of space and time. And yet, despite this, I feel so profoundly connected to every other human who has ever lived, and to those who will come after us. We are all united by this incredible gift of consciousness, this ability to wonder, to question, to search for meaning. We are the dreamers, the thinkers, the explorers, the artists. And though we may be just a tiny blip in the grand expanse of the universe, in some way, we are part of something far greater than ourselves. This, to me, is what makes consciousness so deeply beautiful and tragic at the same time. It allows us to ask the biggest questions, but offers no simple answers. It connects us to the universe in ways we will never fully comprehend, and yet it separates us in a way that leaves us forever searching, longing for a connection that may never come. This paradox, this dance between the limitless and the infinitesimal, between knowing and not knowing, is the essence of what it means to be alive, to be human. And somehow, I believe that's what makes it all so incredibly worth it. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Here's something to truly reflect on. What if the consciousness we possess is not solely for our own sake? What if, instead of existing merely for ourselves, we are here to observe, to bear witness to the awe-inspiring beauty and the unfathomable mystery of the universe? Perhaps, in a sense, our very purpose is to question, to wonder, to search for answers, even if we may never find them. This idea stirs something deep within me, a feeling that we are part of something much larger than we can ever truly comprehend. But with this gift of consciousness comes a weighty responsibility. It forces us to confront the undeniable reality of our limitations, the boundaries of what we can understand, the fleeting nature of our lives, and the humbling truth that, in the grand design of the cosmos, we are small. So small that we might often feel as though we don't even matter. And yet, this very awareness, the knowledge of our mortality, our insignificance, can sometimes feel unbearable. It's difficult to face the truth that in the vastness of space, we are just a fleeting moment, a speck of dust in an endless ocean of stars. The universe is so overwhelmingly immense, and we are so tiny in comparison that it's hard not to feel lost, even irrelevant. To look up at the night sky, to imagine all the galaxies, stars, and untold mysteries out there, and realize how little impact we may have, it can be disheartening, even depressing. But here's the paradox, and it's a beautiful one. Despite this feeling of smallness, despite the overwhelming uncertainty and the loneliness that sometimes accompanies our awareness, we continue to live. We continue to create, to reach out, to love. We persist. We find joy in fleeting moments, meaning in small acts of kindness, and connection in the faces of others. Isn't that extraordinary? Despite the chaos and the confusion, the fear and the uncertainty that often come with being conscious of our place in the universe, we keep going. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe our consciousness isn't meant to answer the impossible questions, but rather to revel in the act of questioning itself, to marvel at the mystery, to live in the wonder of not knowing. This realization has always struck me deeply. Our purpose may not be to find answers, but to make the most of the questions, to truly embrace the process of living, even without understanding the end goal. And here's the thing, no matter how small or insignificant we may feel in the grand scheme of things, we are not meaningless. Each thought we have, every action we take, and each connection we make, no matter how small, contributes to the larger tapestry of existence. A kind word, a genuine smile, a moment of compassion, it's all a tiny spark of light in what can sometimes feel like a vast, cold darkness. The universe may not notice us. It may not care. But we notice each other. And that is the most profound truth I've come to understand. In this vast, silent, seemingly indifferent expanse of time and space, the moments we share are what truly matter. They are what make this journey worthwhile. So what does all of this mean for you and me? It means that even though we are small, infinitesimally small, our existence still has meaning. We matter, not because we are destined to achieve some grand, cosmic purpose, but because we make a difference in the lives of others. Every act of kindness, every moment of understanding, every gesture of love creates a ripple that touches the hearts of those around us. And perhaps, in the grand, silent universe, that is all that matters. As we turn toward the final section, let us reflect on how we can take these ideas and weave them into the fabric of our daily lives. How can we, in our smallness, still live lives that are full of meaning and purpose? How can we move forward, with all the uncertainty and the beauty, and find joy in the simple act of being alive? If we truly understand that our existence, in all its imperfection, is a precious gift, we may just find the courage to live it to the fullest, cherishing every question, every connection, and every fleeting moment that makes life so uniquely ours. Life is a remarkable, unpredictable, and often bewildering journey. It's a constant roller coaster of highs and lows, twists and turns that can leave you breathless, overwhelmed, and sometimes utterly lost. One moment, you're on top of the world, basking in the warmth of success, feeling like you can take on anything that comes your way. You're confident, your dreams seem within arm's reach, and everything feels just right. You have a sense of invincibility, a belief that the world is at your feet. But then, without warning, the tide shifts. The next moment, you're stepping into a puddle of mud, your brand new shoes ruined, your confidence shaken, and your spirits deflated. It's as if the universe has decided to humble you, to remind you that no one is exempt from life's inevitable setbacks. You feel lost, unsure of where to go next, as the weight of your struggles presses down on you. Yet, this dance between joy and sorrow, success and failure, is an undeniable part of life. These moments, whether uplifting or painful, come and go, fleeting like the passing breeze. The happiness you feel today can be replaced by sadness tomorrow, just as the stormy days eventually give way to clearer skies. But what truly matters, what defines who we are as individuals, is not the moments themselves. It's how we respond to them, how we allow them to shape our character, our mindset, and ultimately, our view of the world. How do we rise when life knocks us down? How do we find strength when all we feel is weakness? How do we hold on to hope when it seems like the light is fading? These are the questions that truly matter, because it is in our responses to life's trials and triumphs that we discover who we are. One of the hardest truths to face is that nothing lasts forever. Not the joy, not the pain, not the obstacles we face. In moments of suffering, it can feel as though the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that the darkness will never lift. But in time, everything changes. The heartbreak that feels insurmountable today will fade, the frustrations that seem to last forever will eventually ease, and the triumphs that feel so all-consuming will also pass. This impermanence, this undeniable truth that everything is temporary, is both a relief and a challenge. It encourages us to treasure the good times, to savor every moment of happiness, and not take them for granted. But it also gives us the strength to endure the hard times, knowing that even the darkest clouds will eventually part. When you truly internalize this, it becomes easier to let go of the small stuff, the things that seem so important at the moment but, in the grand scheme of life, are just blips on the radar. You learn not to sweat the small stuff because you recognize that life is too short and too precious to be wasted on fleeting inconveniences. But what about the big stuff? What about the deeper questions of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment? When faced with life's challenges and the many uncertainties of the world, it's easy to wonder, what is the purpose of it all? Why do we endure the struggles, the heartaches, and the confusion? The beauty of life, however, lies in its openness, in its lack of a definitive, preordained meaning. There's no single universal purpose that we're all supposed to fulfill. And this is where the magic happens. We get to decide. We have the incredible freedom to carve out our purpose, to find meaning in everyday moments, and to create a life that resonates with our deepest values and passions. It is a beautiful, empowering thought, to know that we are not bound by a fixed script. We are the authors of our own stories, capable of creating a life that is uniquely ours. For some, the purpose in life comes from the love of family, the joy of raising children, creating memories, sharing wisdom, and building legacies that will carry on for generations. For others, it may lie in the pursuit of adventure, in discovering new places, new ideas, and new ways of thinking. For those with an entrepreneurial spirit, purpose might be found in building something that lasts, something that can make a difference in the world or leave a lasting impact. For many, purpose is simpler, more grounded in the everyday experiences that make life beautiful. The quiet moments shared with loved ones, the early morning coffee enjoyed in solitude, the warmth of the sun on your face, or the sound of laughter shared with a friend. In each of these moments, there is meaning, there is purpose, there is life. The truth is, there is no right or wrong way to live a meaningful life. It's not about achieving some grand, universal measure of success. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in whatever speaks to your heart. Sometimes, it's the simplest moments that hold the deepest meaning. It's in the quiet, unnoticed acts of kindness, the little joys that come unexpectedly, and the connections we make with others that we discover what truly matters. Maybe it's a conversation with a friend, a shared laugh, or the feeling of belonging. Perhaps it's in the act of creating something, whether it's a piece of art, a business, or a meaningful relationship, that we feel most alive. But in the end, it's the love, the experiences, and the growth we find along the way that makes life worth living. We may stumble, we may fall, but we rise again. And in the end, it's not the destination that defines us, but the journey. The way we live, the way we love, and the way we choose to create our purpose in a world that is as vast and mysterious as the stars. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed by the weight of the world, whether it's because of a particularly difficult day, the crushing pressure of making a decision that could change your life forever, or the overwhelming sense of insignificance that creeps in during moments of doubt, please pause and remind yourself of something incredibly powerful. You are here, at this moment, breathing, feeling, existing. You are alive, and that alone is a profound miracle that deserves recognition. In the vastness of time and space, your presence, no matter how small it may seem, is a unique and irreplaceable part of this world. You have an immeasurable power, one that is often taken for granted, the power to choose how you spend your time. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When everything around you seems chaotic or confusing, remember that you hold within you the ability to make decisions that can transform your life, even in the smallest of ways. Perhaps today, you'll choose to pour your heart and soul into chasing that dream you've been nurturing for so long, a dream that seems distant or out of reach, but that's still alive in your heart, whispering for you to keep going. Or maybe you'll choose to shift your focus to others, offering your kindness, your patience, or your help to someone who may be struggling. The act of helping another human being can be more powerful than we often realize. And in some cases, maybe you'll simply choose to appreciate the beauty in the simplest of moments, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, the laughter of a child that fills you with joy and hope, or the warmth of a homemade meal that wraps you in a sense of comfort and peace. These seemingly small acts may appear insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but they are far from it. These are the moments that make up the fabric of our lives. These are the moments that matter. They remind us that even in the chaos, we can find serenity. Even in the uncertainty, we can find a sense of purpose. Life doesn't always have to be about grand accomplishments or global recognition. Sometimes, life is about being present in these beautiful, fleeting moments, cherishing them as they are. At the end of the day, indeed, the universe may not recognize or acknowledge your struggles or victories. The stars may not align in your favor every time, and the world may not stop spinning to celebrate your accomplishments. But here's the truth: that doesn't diminish the value of your life. The universe doesn't need to take notice of you for your life to matter. What truly matters is how you choose to notice the universe around you, how you connect with the people who cross your path, how you bring light into their lives, and how you create meaning from the ordinary. It's about finding joy and purpose in the moments that make up your daily existence. As we wrap up this reflection, let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. The universe is vast, ancient, and filled with mysteries that we may never fully comprehend. From our tiny corner of existence, it can sometimes feel as though we are insignificant specks in the grand scheme of time. Our time here is incredibly brief, a fleeting moment, a blink of an eye in the life of the cosmos. Yet, even in this fleeting moment, we hold something extraordinary. We hold the power to create meaning, to find joy, to love deeply, and to make a difference. We may never fully understand the universe's grand design, but what matters is that we choose to live fully within it. We can create beauty in the way we live, in the way we treat others, and in the way we approach every new day. It's in those choices, those small acts of kindness, the pursuit of our dreams, and the appreciation of life's simplest gifts that we can find true significance. Perhaps that is the most incredible gift of all. The ability to create meaning in a world that is vast, unpredictable, and beyond our understanding. Through our actions, our love, and our ability to see beauty even in the smallest details, we shape the world around us. And that, I believe, is what makes life truly worthwhile. Can be the building blocks of a more meaningful, fulfilling life. They may seem simple, but they carry the power to create lasting change. Not just in your life, but in the lives of others too. So, as we wrap up today's video, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned so far that stands out to you? And how can you bring that lesson into your daily life? Please, share with us in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and learn from each other. If you like this video, don't forget to leave your comment, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content. Remember, each day is an opportunity to take small steps toward the person you want to be and the dreams you want to pursue. Take that first step today. See you in the next video.